Hi there, this is Flatlander Mike, and I'm coming to you from Western Canada in Saskatchewan. And today's video is going to be about building an enclosure for a 2014 Viking. Okay, so after checking out the prices of a full enclosure, I was shocked. Upwards $6,000, $7,000, $8,000. Now mind you, some had a glass windshield, so that kind of helps. But anyway, being the cheap guy I am, I decided to try and build my own. So first of all, what I did, I took it out last winter because I got it about in January, early January. Took it out ice fishing and it was cold. All I had on the front was this little flip windshield. That's all it came with. And so I decided that I'm going to start enclosing this. So I started out going to a full windshield. So I ended up building my own windshield because there again, I was shocked at the price of windshields. So anyway, I went and bought some clamps from Amazon. They're kind of a plastic nylon clamp. And I got a set of 4 of them. And I bought the polycarbonate sheet from my local plastics dealer in Regina, and this cost about $115 Canadian for this plastic sheet, this much, and they cut it to the right size. All I had to do was round the corners off a little bit and finish it off. So anyway, I put this on first, took it out for a spin, and the problem I ran into was the wind was blowing this down right in the middle, so I had a gap there. So I had to reinforce it, so I found a piece of aluminum channel. Put that along the top and drill holes in it and riveted it to the plastic. Then I took a bead of silicone and ran it right along the corner where it met the other windshield. I actually ended up putting a bracket on the inside to hold the middle up, just to give it some support. So everything worked out good with that. Actually put another one up on the top that helped support the top, and another bracket in the middle. So after the windshield, I decided to start with the sides. These little fillers. There's one here and one on the back. So what I did was I got some thin wall steel tubing, 1 inch. Welded a little tab on the top, little tab on the bottom, and I fastened it with bolts on the bottom, and up top this little tab sticks out, and I just put a hose clamp on there to hold it at the top. Then I had to fasten a piece of acrylic. Now I don't recommend using acrylic because it does crack. It's not as tough as polycarbonate, which is a Lexan, is the trade name. But there's other ones too. Anyway, what I did was I made a pattern out of cardboard, cut out this plexiglass, drill holes, rivet it to the square tubing here, and on 3 spots on the roll bar, I bought these stainless steel clamps with the rubber on them, and I mounted them to the roll bar and bolted them through the plexiglass. And there's rubber washers on each side just to give it a little cushion and a little bit of movement. So anyway, so then I did both sides there. The back part is very similar, except it's made with a 1/4 inch plate up here, steel plate. And here again I used those plastic nylon clamps from Amazon. Top and bottom, right down to the very bottom where the plate goes down. And then I used the other clamps, the stainless steel ones, 3 of them, to hold it against the roll bar. These are also available on Amazon, so you can buy a whole whack of them like fairly cheap. So then did the same thing, made a cardboard template, drew it onto the plexiglass, which should be polycarbonate, and then I mounted on here, riveted here to the steel plate, and then bolted it here again. to the smaller clamps, the stainless one. Okay, so the difference between acrylic and polycarbonate is 250 times tougher than glass. So it's very, very strong. The plexiglass is 10 times as strong as glass, real glass. This is only 1/8 and this is 1/4 inch. The polycarbonate I got from my local dealer. That's probably the most expensive part of the doors, but it does a very nice job. Looks pretty professional. It cost me $440 for enough polycarbonate to do both doors. I had to buy a 10 by 8 sheet because the doors would not fit, patterns would not fit on a 4 by 8 sheet. So I had to go a little bit bigger, and I had a little bit left over. But well worth the money. It does a very professional looking job. So next we're going to go to the doors. The first thing I did was I made a template. Now this is just copper tubing. I was going to use this for the frame, but found out it's not very sturdy. So what I did is I used it for a template. I was looking at tubing, metal tubing, which is what most companies make the doors out of. But I thought, gee, that's a lot of money, and well, actually not too much, but I'm sure I can do better. So anyway, what I did was I made the template first, and I kind of held it in here with clamps. Kind of held it in here with clamps where I wanted it, and then I kind of just went by that how to make it. So as you can see, I did this little angle here for strength because you got a lot of weight hanging on those two hinges there. Okay, so what I ended up doing was, instead of using round tubing, is I ended up using this rectangle tubing. Now, this rectangle tubing comes from my local marine dealer, which is, I used to work there, and they take, these are from the crates that 60 horse Mercuries and 50s, and they all come in this, and some of the 40s. So anyway, these are supports. They would go this way to hold the top of the metal angle iron crate away from the bottom to protect the motor when it's being shipped. So I ended up getting all these for nothing, because they just take them to the scrap pile. So anyway, so I ended up cutting them all out, using my template, laying the pieces on top. I made a half lap on each joint. So, except for this one here, this is butt jointed. The half lap gives it a lot more strength. And so what I did was I half lapped it, so I would cut it down the middle and off to the side, and then I would lap that to the next one and weld it at the right angles. Then grind it all down, grind your welding. I'm not a really good welder, but it did work. So anyway, so then I just followed the template, the copper tubing template, made the doors, put in this extra one here for support for the latches, and I put an extra support in here for the hinges so I could bolt the hinges to it. Okay, so these doors, I actually ended up making the hinges myself. So I used a piece of the same tubing, and what I did was I welded, drilled a hole in the end, and I put a bolt through it, quite long bolt. It's just a 5/16 bolt, and I used 5/16 nuts on the other side, welded them to a little piece of 1/4 inch plate that I used for here. I had some left over, and I bolted that plate to the upright. From the other side, I drilled a hole in the plate, threaded it with a top, and then I used a little short Allen key bolt, and 1/4 inch I believe, and screwed it in there and holds it really, really snug. These hinges, I could not find any hinges on Amazon or anywhere that suit my needs, so that's why I ended up making them. Okay, so these doors actually come off really fast. all I have to do is lift it and they're off. So if it's really hot, you can take it off and you get some airflow. Going back on, you just line up the pins. One is a little bit longer than the other, so that's how you line it up. Put it down all the way, and your door's back on. Okay, so the latches are homemade also. I made them out of the same tubing. Just bent the end over and ground it down real nice and smooth. So these latches just go in and quarter twist and they're latched. On the inside there's a screw in the steel tubing that stops the latch from going all the way around so it won't come undone. On the inside we have same steel but it sticks out. This is your actual latch that latches on and you just turn it in a quarter turn. Now I used spacers here. This is just conduit, plastic conduit, and 3/4 inch nuts, 2 of them. One is self-locking. It's just a piece of 1/2 inch threaded rod, goes right through, and it's welded on this side to hold that steady. So all you have to do is make an adjustment. You can actually, if you need it to go in further, you can grind down the spacer, make it go in further, or you can cut another one, make it bigger, whatever. So it's very adjustable. Okay, so the seal around the outside is made from sealing, I guess it's kind of a rubbery with a lip around it that actually fastens to the edge of the polycarbonate. Okay, so again, Amazon, but you want to make sure if it's available that you get it right away because it goes fast. So anyway, I just bought some of that and it starts here, goes all the way around and back to here. Has a bulb, as you can see in the picture, 2 bulbs on the end, gives it a little more length here so it will seal up more discrepancies in the polycarbonate where it fits to the machine. So, but works very well. There's a few little cracks around it, but it actually helps because it gives you a little bit of air circulation inside so that it doesn't fog up your windows. The only thing that I could build was a rear, they call it a rear windshield. Okay, so this, I saved my money and I bought this. It was just about $300. It's made by Super ATV, which I really endorse their products so far. They've been really good. So it's a little bit of a pain to put together with one person, but I managed to do it. So the thing I found, I had this on before I put the doors on, and the problem with that is the snow all comes up here and just drifts into the inside of the cab without this on. So just putting this on made a big difference. Well, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I did this for probably around $1,000, which is 1/6 of the cost of one that you can buy. Did take a little bit of time, but I'm retired, so I have more time than money. Anyway, thanks for watching, and my next video will be tracks. They're on order, and within a week or two, we're going to have another video out how to install the tracks on this unit. And I'm hoping it's going to go with 2 hours like they tell me. If not, you're going to know.